Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email drjacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. Our show today is the Film and Music Show, and my dear friend, Madalene Chan, has the day off. So we are missing you, Madalene, sending you lots of love and light, and we've got a fabulous guest that Madalene's brought to the platform. Before we welcome our guest, I want to just give a little shout out to Madalene. Let's take a look at Follow Love with Madalene Chan.
By your love, what you giving me is just not enough. I need a love to take me higher and higher and higher. Every step I take, I feel more awake. Getting closer now, I feel so alive. Stopping me, this is how I live. Ever closer now. Just follow love. Love will take you there. Just follow love. Follow me. Just follow love. Love will take you there. Just follow love. Follow me. Follow love.
Love that song. All right, one more tribute to Madalene, and then we're bringing out Lotte. Let's watch Madalene Chan in Out of Control. Here we go. Out of Control, Maddie Lovely.
Here I go. Watch me now. I'm out of control. Here I go. Watch me now. I'm out of control. Moving up and down, out of control. Feel the sweet desire, let the music start start to free your soul. Feel this open fire moving up and down out of control. Feel the sweet desire, let the music start to free your soul. Feel this open fire moving up and down and out of control. Feel the sweet desire, let the music start to free your soul. Feel this open fire moving up and down out of control. Feel the sweet desire, let the music free your soul. Let the music start to free your soul.
Yes, Madalene Chan. You can connect with her on LinkedIn as well as Instagram. Here's her information. Please do reach out to her. There's her website and her email address. And for those of you on the radio, the website is www.madalene, MADALENE-CHAN.com. All right, without further ado, our special guest is backstage today. Her name is Lotte Aagaard, and she is a creative director. She has had an incredible awakening, and she's going to share some insights with us about how she helps bring people to success. She's helping people all over, and we're glad that she's here today. Welcome to the show, Lotte. Hi. You're on mute. No, we can't hear you. Okay, well, Lottie's getting that figured out. We still can't hear you. Your microphone's off. So we are going to just take a quick moment here. Lotte, if you can unmute yourself, that would be fabulous. Okay, there you have it.
I was muted, yeah.
Yes.
Hi. Sorry for that.
That's okay. It's technology. So tell us about your work as a creative director, and then we'll talk about this epiphany, life-changing event that happened to you. What do you do in the creative field?
Well, I'm a pitcher, song plugger, and artist developer. So we had songs on a lot of movies. And we have developed a lot of artists. Probably one you might know, an old one is called Barbie Girl. I think that was with Aqua, which was one of the biggest success we had in the US. Sold 48 millions. And then we had a lot of kid stuff here, which was, I think we sold like way above 100 million CDs and records. So that's been my main topic, and right now we have 40 number ones in Japan, and a lot of our songs go on games. So you probably Dance Revolution, if you know that. We have a lot of songs on that one. So my primary development for artists and songwriters has to bring them to a state where they actually become successful. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. There's some big numbers there you have.
I know. And you know what is the sad point of it, because we have been and is very successful, is that, and I took that up with my boss, saying, you know, we forget to celebrate when we're number 2 only, or number 10. We only celebrate ourselves when we're number 1. And I think that was one of the main points I had, was you have to celebrate every step of success. Even though you're number 100, at least somebody's hearing you. So I think it's important to celebrate every little piece of success you make, no matter how small.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I was just going to share that. I know for me, I have all these goals and I celebrate whatever it is, and then I quickly move on. I don't actually bask in the glory of that accomplishment. I just think, okay, that's done. Let's move on to the next one. So that's not a great way to be.
That's you get empty. Sooner or later you get empty and say, well, what's the point if I don't celebrate myself? Why then all this hustle and all the hard work if you don't stop every time you have a little success, even if it's just one fan saying, wow, you're good, and then say thank you. That means a lot to me. It's to become successful in the music business or movie business is one fan at a time. And sooner or later, you are successful enough to actually have a fan base, and that will keep you successful. But the moment where you forget to celebrate and say thank you, you lose the success.
Very good point. And I think also many times there are people get so caught up in success. And I see it with people that I've met through this platform or even on social media. It's always about them. They're always posting something like them standing in front of a statue or them standing and there's no real enticement to actually look further because it seems to be coming from a place of ego as a place from heart.
Exactly. And I've always said to them, don't use borrowed feathers. At the moment where you need others to stand next to you, and I met this guy or I met this guy and I know that guy, that's borrowed. And that don't make you successful. You got to find your own way. You got to find your own sound. You got to find what really makes you successful and stand out. And if you can't find that, you got to ask, why me? And then have the clear answers to it and say, why me? Why should people listen to me? What's my message? What do I want to come across with? And if with the moment where you exactly know what you want, that's the first step to success.
Great point. Thank you. So what in your experience, you have quite a lot of experience in helping people. What does it take in addition to the things that you're sharing for someone to actually get that success, that if they're looking, their only idea about success is how many records am I going to sell, how many downloads are there going to be, and how much money am I going to make? Is that a typical recipe for success, or is that failure?
No, it's not even failure. It's just not successful enough. You have to take control over your own business. When you go into this creative state, people think, I just have to be creative. No, it's a business. You got to be in control of where you're going to be played, who's going to play you, who's going to use your talent, where do you get your money, and then stick to and find out, do I get the money I need? Like if you're an ordinary paycheck every month, you would check, do I get the money I should have? But many creatives don't even check if they get the money they are entitled to. Success is taking control of your career. Then you're in business. The other thing is just like spare time. It's something you find funny. But the moment where you start to say, okay, this is a business, I'm gonna make a living out of this. And then you take the route and you take control over where you're gonna go, who you're gonna speak to, how many places can you place your song, who do you need in your life? Because there'll be a lot of people managers. If you are a little successful, many managers will come and try to get you. That don't mean that they'll be better than yourself. If you have someone trusting you and trusting your talent, stick to them and don't leave them just because other people come and say, oh, we can make you much bigger. Then ask them to talk with the manager or the people who believe in you and say, that's great. Talk with those guys. They believed in me from the beginning when it was hard work. So it's a matter of looking at it as from the perspective, this is a business. This is what I want to live from. And then you'll become successful if you got the talent, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Good points. We've read stories over the years about, at least here in the States, about A-list celebrities who had no business knowledge, no business acumen whatsoever. They were a singer, performer, and then they got a manager, they got an agent, and they lost all their money. Then they didn't even know. To your point, they weren't even on top of where the money's coming from, where the money's going. They put their trust in someone else and ended up broke.
Yeah. I had a good teacher called Michelle Weiss. She's one of the biggest writers I know and a producer. She's a woman producer and produced for Disney and everybody else. I'm telling you, the collection companies really hate her. And they have tried to throw her out many times because she knows exactly if there's one dime missing out of her statement. And then they call her, she called them and say, where's that one? And she kept track of everything she's out that she should make money from, the shows, the commercials, the movies, everything, every minute. And she makes a great living out of it. So you got to stay on top. You got to want this as a business. You got to make this your living and breathing. So every day, it's hard work, but if you do the work, it'll be successful. So,
yes, I agree with you. In the work that I do, I live and breathe this. This is what I do 7 days a week. And people will say, can't you go out and do that? No, I'm doing, this is what I do. And there's no one who can do it the way I can do it. So I have to be here.
exactly.
I'm that passionate about it. And I believe that's what it takes. So sometimes when people reach success, again, whatever that might look like, there are distractions along the way. There's the lure of the trends. There's the lure of alcohol and drugs and partying and all these other things. And people tend to get lost. And then they later are interviewed and they admit, hey, this is what was going on. I lost my way. But then they're found. In some cases, people are like, you know what, I had this incredible thing happen to me. And I believe, not that that was your story, but you had an epiphany. You had an aha moment. Would you like to share that with our audience?
You think about, do you believe? I was actually very scared. I had 2 small kids and I was sleeping with closed windows, curtains on, and totally frightened. I've had where people have broken in while I was sleeping and threatened me on my life and everything. And then suddenly I hear a very, very loud voice calling me when I was sleeping. And I was like, who is here? I thought I had a visitor. But then I realized that it's a spirit. And in the end, I found out it was God. And he asked me to go to the living room and sit down. And I did. And he asked me, Lotte, do you believe? What do people do when they do believe? I said, yes, I do believe. And he said, no, do you believe? And I thought, okay, he wants me to think about it. So I was sitting like 10 minutes, 15 minutes and thought, I've sat here long enough. And I said, yes, I do believe. I've always believed in God, I'm sure. And then he said, Lotte, do you believe? And it was a very, very loud voice. And I thought, now I could feel whole my body start trembling. And I started sweating. And I couldn't speak. So I was sitting there until a calmness came over me and a certainness that I could say, yes, I do believe. And then he said, then go to bed, open your windows, take down your curtains, unlock your door, throw away all the weapons like knives and hammers and all that I was sleeping with, and go to sleep. And the best part was I did, because I do believe. And when you believe, you cannot fear anything. So after that, I haven't had one moment of fear since. I trust him completely. And that made me write this book, Do You Believe? Which is about, and this is messages I got from everything, my spiritual guide. And I still read it myself today because it's all, I don't always know what's in there because it was not my words completely. So I'm very grateful for that night because that took me away from fear and anxiety.
What an amazing thing to happen. And so during that time period, whether it was a half an hour or whatever, you had no insecurity. You were not questioning. You knew that this was the voice of God coming to you.
Yeah, and even today when people say, I go around with a lot of gospel people because I write a lot of gospel myself, and they say, you preach. I said, I don't know if I'm preach. I speak from my own experience with God. And I've had stories from people who do believe too. And once you've met him, there's no turning back. You cannot, after meeting him, say, no, I don't believe any longer. No, you know in your heart that even though you were killed or something really bad happens to you, like my mom was nearly dead in a car accident, it's meant to be, everything's okay. you lose distrust in life. And I had a question for him once, which many people have had, saying, "Why do you allow all this bad stuff, the hate and everything in the world? Why is human so bad?" And his answer to me was, "We are evolving. We're not as bad as we have been. We are refining ourselves." And that makes sense. That yeah, we don't eat each other any longer. We don't hunt each other. We don't burn witches any longer. So we are refined. And yes, the area that's not as refined as we might be, but they come around, and then there'll be room for love. And that's actually a good answer to my question, why we humans, I feel humans are the worst kind of species on earth, because we are so horrible against everybody. Like Maddie says, we need more love. I totally agree with her.
I agree with you as well. And what about the people who don't believe in God? They believe in spirit, they believe in source, they believe in something else. How do you?
Well, if you believe in something, it might be a spirit or nothing. They can even believe in nothing. If you hear people working on elderly home when people is dying, everybody's even called a mom or God, though they have said they don't believe at all. I think that when you are in need, those who says I don't believe, or I think there's something up there, I don't mind what they call it. It doesn't matter. If you have that trust there's something else than you do believe. And if you don't believe in anything, well, then that's it. For me, it's about my knowledge, and I do believe because I met him, so I cannot not believe. And one of the cases, well, it's a long story, I won't come in on it. One of my very good gospel friends, he had an amazing story to tell. And when you're hanging around these people who believe, and they tell you their stories when they meet God, you cannot not believe. I even do believe in a life after death because of my mom. She had an after-death experience when she was in a car accident where she met her mom. She went there and she said, it's the most loving place. It's so full of love and great energies. And she wanted to go in there because it was a horrible accident. And her mom said, you cannot go in. It's not your time. And she said, I'm not going back there. She said. And then her mom said, you have to. You have 4 children. You have to go and take care of them. They need to. And she said, I don't want to do it. But she was forced back. And she said, I'll not enjoy life, even though it sent me back. And she hoped she kept that promise. And so she said she knew there was something after. And I've searched for that, researched a lot, and there's a lot of statements saying there's an afterlife. So for me, I'm not afraid of dying. It's just getting out and getting in again.
Thank you, Lotte. And when we think about creatives, the film and music industry, in your experience, in your beliefs, how does this awakening, so to speak, how does this awakening impact that creative energy?
I think for me, it came to when it's all good. When we have our co-writing camps, I know things will happen. I always say, I know there'll be a song today. And when people fight the most over a song, that's when it means something. If it goes easy, it's because people don't really care about what's being written. So I have my awakening came where I say, I'm in the place where I should be, and I'll help whoever needs me. And so for me, it was just that I trust life. Life wants me the best for me.
That's beautiful. Thank you. So tell us how you do help people. What are the things that you offer? What are the things you have done that you can share with our audience so they can get to know you better?
I help in any way I can. If it can be an artist who don't know where to take her music, sometimes they just call me to ask if I'll listen to the music they have created, if I think there's something in it. And I always say to them, don't ask me if you don't want a blunt answer. If I don't like it, I'll tell you, because my job is listening to 100 music pieces every day and find those who stick out and say that's one has something special. But they still want me to do it, and I tell them what to do. If they and they can follow my advice or not. It's not up to me. It's their road. It's their route. So yeah, and sometimes they call me saying, "Lotte, do you know anyone I can contact?" And I'll give them the contact if I know any. And they ask me to listen to the vocal they have, the voice, and if I know someone, producer and writer, I'll put them in contact. So it's more or less, what do they want? I have always one really advice that I found is very useful for everyone I've talked with, is saying, live your music so I can see who you are. If you go in ordinary clothes like me, you don't know who I am when you look at me. But if I dressed up and I had a cowboy hat on, I had cowboy boots, and I had all that and guitar on my back, you would identify me as maybe a country singer. So you have to dress up for the artist you want to be. You cannot be ordinary and an artist. That's not possible.
I'm smiling because I really am resonating with what you said. Madalene and I have written a song together, and I'm always dressed a certain way, I guess, and anyway, I feel like maybe I'm actually establishing my own brand before the track comes out, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and that's a very good thing, because when the song comes out, it has to resonate with what we see. You can always make a music video with lyrics in, but if you want a fan, you got to be someone they want to look at and see what you do and what you speak.
Absolutely.
I have something that just came into my mind. I have to share. There's this saying. There's a lot of people who is fat shamed, right? And there was one saying, well, I just read that there's 75% of water in my body. So I'm not fat, I'm just drowning. So I think, look at it from another perspective and say, what's your message? And then dress for it.
Brilliant. I have a question for you, because this actually happens with me. I have always loved to sing, but I was told by two people who were very influential in my life that I shouldn't be singing and I had a terrible voice. And Madalene saw something in me when I didn't even know her. We had an interview together, and she contacted me and said, I think you want to be a singer. And I thought, wow. So I still don't know that I have the confidence that I need. And Madalene's probably laughing about this, but in singing one sentence, I guess, of the verse, I finally made it, or I've made it, or something. I couldn't actually sing it like I meant it, and she saw it. And so my question for you is, what is it that we truly have to believe in or about to be authentic when we're performing?
Well, it's a matter of, there's people who sing like a dream, but when they perform and stand on stage, you really don't care about it, because it's like a wet thing standing on the stage. You don't really want to see it. So first of all, it's about the show when you're on stage. Secondly is how you put it across for the audience. How much do you mean it? If you see some of the big song singers, when you really pay attention, they might not even have a big band behind them. They might just stand with the guitar, might even be a cappella. But the way they use the words to come across with you, that makes the whole difference. So forget the embarrassment. Forget about that you're afraid of people judge you. You have a message with this song, and that message is what you have to come across with. And if you don't do that honestly and really mean it, if you don't agree with the words you're singing, don't sing them. That's as simple as it is. Don't put something across you don't mean. That's why I do a lot of gospel these days, because it's positive. And I'm so done with negative words. I don't want to write another negative word. There's so many that putting out bad words like slap that something, or I have like, why? That's not words or energies we should put out in the world. If you want to do something, do it positive. Make somebody happy with what you do, or at least feel something. So if it's about love, let them make your love, feel your love, and that they want to feel the same that you're doing when you sing.
I agree with you. I'm just wondering on a counterpoint, I've been in traffic and there's a car window open next to me and there's this loud music. And sometimes it's rap music and it's all throw him, punch her, do. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. But what if people who are writing these songs, what if they are saying, well, this is my journey. This is how I'm expressing myself.
Then there's a need for it, and then people who, you can always turn it off. When I hear that kind of songs, I say, I don't want to hear it. I get aggressive myself. I get frustrated. I get aggressive. My energy totally change. That's why when I talk with Madalene, she's so full of positivity. And her Star Child and her Star Child musical, I hope to God that the world will see it one day because it's amazing. And she has, from the very start when I met her, she's helped people from the very start I met her, and that was what amazed me about her. That she's so good-hearted from a genuine point. She's genuine, so that's what I like about her.
I agree. We love you, Madalene. We miss you today.
Yeah, definitely, and I hope she gets well soon.
Yes, absolutely. So Lotte, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so when you begin singing your song, is that the song that you really mean is your first words out in the world? You have to think about that. Is that the first words and vibes you want to send out?
I think so. I really love it. I really absolutely love it.
Yeah, so then go with it and be true to it and perform it. Like I want to hear the words, right?
Yes. Now, everyone has a voice, but should everyone be using their voice in a creative way? So maybe not everyone has a great voice. Should they still go ahead and follow this passion of using their voice and creating a track or an album?
No. Maybe they should use the words to speak instead of, like me. I can't sing, and that everybody says, oh, everybody can learn to sing. No, I can't. And I've been around producers and writers the whole life, 38 years, I think. And I've been in every studio, and one of the producers was so blank to me saying, Lotte, the day I need a fucked up voice, I'll call you. That's just how it is. I use my voice in different ways, by helping others or by speaking to people or guide them, because I have this spiritual guide. So I have admitted, and I don't want to be a singer, I have to say that, but my voice is horrible. We used every tool possible. And they say I should be hired by those who make these tools, like for making good singers. They don't even want me, so nobody wants a singer like me.
Are you going to sing a little something for us?
No. The only one who hear me sing is my grandchild when I try to get him to sleep. And then I have a nice voice. That's the fun part, that you might not have a pop voice. Many people want to be a pop star voice. But you might have an opera voice you don't even know about when you start singing opera. Or you might even have a deep voice, like I have with my grandchild. He starts to sleep every time I open my mouth to sing. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just boring. But that's nice. No, but you have to, if you don't have a singing vocal and you want to use your voice and you have things you want to come across with, you can either write, as I started doing. You can write songs. I've written a lot of songs and they're all over and I love it. I wrote the whole gospel album with Julia Lindell, who's great, probably Denmark's best vocal. And, you can use your voice many ways. You can comfort a person. If you go in the street and you see someone who's not looking too good, smile, go and talk friendly with them. I have like homeless. I always taught my kids, go and speak to them. They have interesting stories. Give them a meal. Speak with them for half an hour and see what they have to say. Don't get scared of people who's different. So you can use your voice in many ways.
Yes, I agree with you. Thanks for sharing that. I remember, I want to say 15, 20 years ago, I was in New York when my dad was still alive, so at least 10 years ago. And almost every corner where you could see right there in Manhattan, there was somebody singing, somebody performing, just doing street art, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself back then, how can this person have such a beautiful voice, and yet here they are on a street corner? So my question for you is, especially for all those people out there who are wannabe superstars, that you have the talent and you have the passion, but you have to have connections, right? You have to have a network, or you're waiting to be discovered, which I don't know how often that happens. But what other advice can you give to aspiring artists?
Well, I have one advice is, we had an artist called Jim Sampson. He had a beautiful vocal and he got really big here in Denmark. And suddenly he called us saying, I don't want this. My daughter was also an artist, and she said, I don't want it. And he said, I'd like to have a little stardom. I want to be a little star so I can live from it, but I don't want to be a big star so I can't walk the streets. So you have also to be aware of what you wish for. Because as you said, there's a lot of major stars whose life is miserable. Take Britney Spears. My daughter, were in New York, and she was offered big deals with Disney, Nickelodeon, and Seals record label even offered her. And she said, no, thank you to everything. And I said, why don't you want to do it? And that was when Britney freaked out. And she said, I don't want to become Britney. And they all said, well, you won't become Britney. And she says, I'm sure Britney didn't want to become her either. So I think that you have to discuss with yourself, do you want to be able to walk in peace? Then you have to become a little fame. Or do you want to have the whole shit with everything? And then you have to go all in and sell out. Because when you go big time, many will come after your songs and ask for percentages of this song. And in the end, you'll find out, I didn't get so wealthy of it. If you're not a really star, I can't remember the redhead boy who is such a great artist, who just stand on stage like a one-man band. He earns a lot of money, but he's a true talent also. There's few of him. So you have to discuss with yourself, who are you as an artist? How big do you want to go? Because you can always reach out to the right people and they'll talk to you if you have something worth listening to. They'll even listen to a song. You might be like Beatles, they turn you down until you're not turned down. You have to find those who believe in you. And there'll always be one or two. So you have to go on streets and perform, or clubs. There's a lot of clubs who will take you, and you might do it for free. So who cares if that's what you want to do? So you have to discuss with yourself, and this is the planning, this is the business side, saying, I'm content if I can make a living out of this, so I can live doing what I love doing. I don't really need a lot of people following me. My daughter, for instance, she was not that old. She was a kid star here in Denmark, and suddenly pedophiles sought her up. We had to disguise her name and take away her address and everything because they were trying to find her. And other kids tried to film her naked in the bathroom when she was in school. There's also the backside of fame that not many speak about. And for Britney, that backside suddenly became the front side. And if you look at Elvis, if you see the movie of Elvis, his backside also become front side. He lost his family, and he lost the fame, and he lost who he was an artist. He had a great vocal, but he sold out.
I'm sorry about your daughter.
No, it's fine. She was 12 when she turned everyone down, saying, Mom, I want to stop here. And luckily we had a good manager who said, well, made the contract that she could stop from day one.
Another question I have for you is we interview a lot of authors here. You're an author, I'm an author, but when an author is going to write a series, from my understanding, as someone who is writing series, you plan ahead, you plan all the books in advance. So when you are going to release a single, should you actually be planning on releasing an album? Should you already have other songs that you're working for or working on, or do you just put one out there and say, hey, let's see how they like that, and if they like that, we'll come up with another one?
I think I disagree with the book writing. I think that it should be your own adventure first, and then see where the books take you, instead of trying to write it all down and and try to follow that schedule. Take yourself on a journey. I think the most important is that you entertain yourself in your process. If you have a single and you like it, and back in the days when I started, it was developing an artist, meaning that the first CD would probably be a flop, but it was introducing an artist, and that was 10 songs. And then you started to turn the artist into the artist want to be. And then we wrote another album, and it cost a lot of money. Today you can make it home. And then you sent one single out, and you never sent the best single out first, because that will, if you don't know you, that will be a flop anyway. You might not even go to the charts, but that's an introduction to you, of you. So you save the best single for second or third when they have gotten to know you.
Madalene, are you listening to that? Are you out there? We've got some more work to do then.
Yeah, you have, and you know what? You have to have at least a 30-minute show before you can sell yourself as a show. There's a lot of artists who think, oh, now I have 2 songs, now I want, now, no, you need a show on at least 30 minutes and hopefully 2 times 45 minutes before they buy you in.
Now, when you say show, can you clarify what you mean?
Well, it can be on festivals. It can be, on the stage they don't know what to put on. It can, where you offer yourself for free. It can be in a bar, at least 30 minutes there. You can't just come and sing 2 songs and that's it. It's a lot of hassle to get all the equipment in there, and they might have to borrow it in. So you have to have half an hour for them to see your show. And also before you're proper introduced to those who's in the bar or in the club.
And is this original music you need to be performing, or not necessarily?
Well, if you do covers, then that's what they'll know you for. If you want to do a cover, make it original. If you want to do The Power of Love, so many have cut that. I've written with the one who wrote The Power of Love, and she has made a living all her life from that one song because it's redone every year nearly. But everyone has to take it in and make it their own. It can be the way you sing it, it can be the tempo, it can be, the way you look at it. So if you make a cover, take a song that is nearly good, who's been on the chart, but you can make it better. If you can't make it better, leave it. No matter how big it is, leave it. Just take one where you say, this one is an amazing song, but I can make it a perfect song.
I'm taking it all in. Thank you. And we've got a comment from the lovely madalenecarolchan, who is out there. I'm listening, elevated listening. I love you both very much. I'm there in heart with you guys. Yay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Madalene. Lotte, another question I have for you is, and I see we're running out of time. When you're performing, when you're recording the song, and you've practiced it over and over again, is there a point when you just say, okay, let's just go with this? Or do you still, do you spend, how much time do you spend rehearsing before you just say, okay, this is it, it's a demo, I'm going to go with it, and we're going to make it into a track?
Well, normally I say that the first recording, when you write the song, that's where the magic is. The rest of it will take away some of the magic. But, you can take it to a certain point, but the moment you get tired of it, that's when you know it's not a hit song.
Okay. I think we're at a good point, because when I play it, my family's all dancing around, everybody's smiling and dancing, and they want it to actually be longer. And I think Madalene actually worked on that. So thank you, Madalene. I haven't heard the latest revision, but this has been a lot of fun, Lotte. I really appreciate it.
I'm very honored to have been here.
You did show your book. Can you hold that up again?
This one, do you believe?
Yes. Would you like to read anything out of that as we close out our show?
I'll just take one page and see what's happening. I always say, funny enough, I have one here on page 43 saying, we will need to help each other, bringing the world back on track, back loving each other, stop the hating and disconnecting, back from the destruction we have done. Hey, help heal humanity as human will heal the world.
That was beautiful. What a great way to close us out. For people who want to reach out with you, they want to hire you, they want to connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
They can write my email, they can call me. It's in Denmark, so it's +45 2124 7095. They are welcome. I answer always. If I don't, then text me, because sometimes you get a lot of calls from people you don't know, and those one I don't take. So text me.
Okay, and can you also provide your email address for people listening on the radio?
Yeah, lotte.aagaard@mac.com. And if they want to see the company I work in, then it's www.tg-management or publishing.dk. That's a good site to go in on. There's a lot of good people to connect with.
Okay, I'm just typing up your phone number. Did you say +45 212 47095?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got it here. Let me just finish typing your name. And there we go.
It's been a big pleasure being on this show.
Thank you so much.
And I look forward to hear and see you perform the song.
Well, I'm excited to perform it. So we actually thought we were finished, and then I played it for my family. They're like, we want some more, another, what's it called? Chorus, another chorus, and take the bridge up a little bit faster. So,
and now I have the last advice for you, and everyone who's listening, is too many chefs can destroy a good meal.
That's a good one. All right. I appreciate it. I can't wait to connect with Madalene and with you again. And please feel free to come on any of our shows. We've got a business show. You can come on there. We've got the Corner Bookstore. So we've got 29 live shows each week.
Yeah, would love to.
All right. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah. See you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Well, that was our film and music show today. A little bit of inspiration, advice from an expert, what it takes to actually not only follow your passion and your dream, but to realize that you have to be running a business. It's a business. If you want to be successful, if you just want to have a hobby and you want to sing at your family dinners, that's a very different story. So I appreciate all of you who are watching, who are listening, whether it's on the live or the replay. If you're over on our YouTube channel, please do subscribe. It's USA Global TV and Radio. Our next show is coming up. It's The Wise Ones, and my co-host is Mr. Red O'Loughlin, and we have a special guest today. His name is Captain Joe. So thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you shortly, right after this, in less than 10 minutes. Bye, Madalene. Bye, Lotte. Bye, everyone.